Welcome back, everyone. Toy Shiz here, and I am back yet again to give you guys another retro shiz look back at the past. And today, we're heading all the way back to 1995 for the McFarlane Toys' Spawn Series 3. This is the Medieval Spawn and Battle Horse, which has really nice artwork all over the box. Can't say enough nice things. Always like a good toy with some illustrated action on it. But it was quite a nice set of toys, to be honest with you. You had an exclusive medieval Spawn, very silverized, and you had a giant battle horse with a saddle and a catapult launcher. And we'll take a look at everything that this thing does, because it's pretty darn cool, I gotta admit. For as old as it is, for as corny as it is, it's pretty awesome. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice hot cup of coffee. This is a look at the 1995 McFarlane Toys' Medieval Spawn and Battle Horse from Spawn Series 3. And while I got all you battle axes here, I just want to say thanks so much for always checking out my YouTube videos. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. Old Toys, New Toys, daily news updates. I guarantee you'll find something here that you like. Now, to kick it off with Medieval Spawn and his ultra super cool battle horse, right? This horse even has real flowing hair. You could even comb it yourself. Perhaps with the axe, right? But yeah, you get this really cool Spawn axe, really nice flecks of black within the silver paint, which is pretty cool. You got the Punisher symbol right there. Now, the handle for the actual weapons are kind of interesting. They're very pre-posed for a very pre-posed figure. We'll take a look at everything and how they work. But then you also get a mace. And it is on a plastic chain. Yeah, they used to do plastic chains back in the day. Metal chains are always ideal, but it's the same sort of situation where Medieval Spawn will hold it. But you can, of course, throw it around and wreck your enemies with it, right? And then you have this big old boulder. It's a pretty hollow boulder, right? It's fairly simple. This is going to go in your catapult. But with the Medieval Spawn himself. Now, this is an exclusive Medieval Spawn. He's a little bit different than the usual reds and blues and everything else. Now he's black, red, and silver, and he is painted nicely. He's got a great sculpt to him. He does have plastic chains, as you can see, but they are, we'll say, quote-unquote, articulated. They'll actually kind of move up, so when you want to put his legs up and get him in the horse, they don't really impede the movement. But yeah, very cool overall, right? I like this look for Medieval Spawn. It's very much the Toy Biz era of McFarlane Toys, right? Todd Toys, but minimal articulation, head, arms. You did have some articulation in the knees, and then, of course, at the legs where you could sit him in the horse. And then in holding the weapon, see, that's why it kind of looks kind of wonky. You kind of simply just fit that piece right through there, and he holds it. Again, pre-pose, same thing with the mace and spike ball, and yeah, you throw it around. I do think the axe is very cool, right? That's very befitting of Medieval Spawn, but they're both cool, and in conjunction with this awesome battle horse, right? It's so corny, but I love it, right? It's very My Little Pony. You got the Spawn thing on it. Kind of Skeleton Warriors at the same time, too, right? But just great paint, great sculpts. It's a great 1995 toy, right? And I told you, yeah, he has a real hair. Legends say that this is actually pieces of Todd McFarlane's hair cut off for each individual horse. Don't look that up. Just take my word for it. It does have really unusual splotches of black paint. I get what they're kind of go for, you know, kind of dirty it up a little bit, but ultimately it gets kind of muddled. I mean, like right here, like if this was present day, I'd be like, wow, they really went to town with paint. But back in the day, what are you gonna do, right? It has some articulation in the legs and the hooves, so you can back kick a Spawn character if you want. Nothing in the front. Again, very pre-posed, but you get the idea. He's supposed to be doing the whole battle horse sitch, and he does have the big old lance right here, which is removable, and very much a mechanical looking Dark Ages, kind of combining futuristic tech with old tech, but you can clip it right there on Medieval Spawn's hand, and I mean, it works. It's not that great, but it looks better on the horse, we'll just say. And then it has a real working catapult. This was always my favorite thing. I thought that was pretty cool, and even to this day, you know, you pull it back, it's spring loaded. It's not like a button push activated, you just pull it back, and it does that whole thing. But I mean, for a play feature, it's pretty cool. Fairly simple. You just put the big old boulder in there, pull it back, and launch the thing, right? So it's a lot of fun, especially when you want to aim it at your friends or enemies, right? Something like that. Let's get Cyber Violator in here, and for the sake of it, we'll just see it and try to kill him, right? And toss it. Never works. These never work when I try to do these things live on camera. Just take the horse and knock Violator in the face. That's always the best bet every time, hands down. But yeah, in terms of weapon storage, right? It's actually pretty cool. You could put everything on the horse, and it's just overall a very cool setup. It's a very complete playset. That has some mobility right there, lowering it up and down. And then, of course, you take your medieval spawn, do all the poses, get him ready to sit right there in the saddle, and just get him all situated, put the stone in there. And yeah, bingo bango, you got yourself a really cool medieval spawn with a battle horse. I got to give it to him. I mean, it's... Some people say, oh, it's kind of statuesque. Now, these were old toys back in the day. I mean, we're lucky to get as much articulation on this thing as it was. They could have just left the horse alone for the most part, but it has weapon storage. It's got real combable hair. It's got all the great stuff you'd want from a really cool 90s Spawn action figure. And, of course, in comparing him to, we'll say, medieval Spawn, right? The more modern-ish medieval Spawn. Yeah, it's night and day, right? Again, it's like the Toy Biz era, so to speak, of McFarlane toys. But yeah, I've been mind and really nicely articulated, updated medieval Spawn, I'll tell you that. In comparing him to the most recent Alley Throne Spawn, I mean, you see the size difference. It's gotten larger as the time has gone on. Manga Spawn, right? Very cool, interesting Spawn, very bug-like. I don't know. 90s were a different time, right? And yes, there was an updated Dark Ages classic comic book covers medieval Spawn, so to speak, and the battle horse, but that's another story for another day. We'll take a look at him on his own video. But yeah, to reiterate, Todd Toys, McFarlane Toys, when they're first starting out, very minimal articulation. You can kind of see what they're trying to do against Toy Biz and all the Spider-Mans and the Marvels and everything else. But he will go really nicely with those if you want. Minimal articulation and all. Yeah, it was such a glorious time back then. You didn't have to think too much about it. You just enjoyed it. So that's really going to wrap it up for my retro shiz look back at the 1995 McFarlane Toys' medieval Spawn and battle horse. And overall, with the limitations on articulation, who cares? It's a friggin' awesome toy. It's got real catapult launchers. You've got Todd's hair glued to the back of the butt thing. You got some articulation here and there. The figure can hold all the weapons, plus you got weapon storage. It's one of my favorites. It's pretty darn cool. I gotta give it to him. But as always, I am curious to know what you guys think about this medieval Spawn and battle horse. Did you have it? Do you need to get it now? Comment below. Let me know. Let's talk everything Spawn. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, stay tuned. I got some more Spawn coming our way. Old toys. Just old toys. It's nothing new. Just everyone, just relax. It's just old Spawn stuff. You're going to love it. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.